Because there was nothing going on here, nothing like that ever happened before.
It's devastating, isn't it?
It's terrible for her family,
Yes.
you know. If nothing else, if they even just find her and bring her home, give them some closure. Whether her perpetrator ever be caught is anybody's guess, but to bring her home at this stage, I think her family have gone through more than enough.
The Minister for Health says cancelled scoliosis surgeries are difficult for patients and their families. New figures show 525 surgeries on children were cancelled between 2022 and 2025. Jennifer Carroll McNeil says CHI is making every effort to minimise these disruptions, but sometimes it is unavoidable. She said the measures are being implemented to reduce waiting lists. And the National Directorate for Fire and Emergency Management met today ahead of yellow warnings for rain coming into effect for 17 counties at 11 o'clock tonight. It's warning the additional rainfall could trigger further flooding given current ground and river conditions. The alerts will be in place for the affected counties until 11 p.m. tomorrow night. That's it for now. We'll have more in an hour.
News Talk Weather.
Thanks to Ryanair. Try a truly Baltic break this spring with Ryanair city breaks to Riga, Tallinn or Vilnius.
Wet and windy tonight with outbreaks of rain becoming widespread and possibly falling as sleet or snow in places. Lows of 0 to 5 degrees. Now you're up to date on News Talk.
The Newsround on Off the Ball. This is News Talk.
Good evening and welcome along to Tuesday night's Off the Ball. It's Eoin here with you until 10 o'clock this evening. Great show coming up between now and then. We're going to kick things off from 7:30 with Brian O'Driscoll here in studio, so loads still to discuss in the aftermath of the Italy game. We've got Prendergast, we've got Crowley to talk about. The out-half debate is raging. We've got fresh Johnny Sexton quotes from today on that matter. And England have named their team. Henry Pollock is going to start a test match for the very first time. So loads and loads to discuss with Brian from 7:30. In the 8 to 9 hour, we're going to have former Tyrone footballer Conor Myler in studio with us. Of course, he's an All-Ireland winner. He's an all-star. He's got a fascinating story. He's battled through injuries throughout his entire life, and a lot of it is as a consequence of the anger and the frustration he felt as a young footballer trying to make it into the inter-county setup. So it's going to be a really, really good chat with Conor between 8 and 9. And then on the football show between 9 and 10, there's going to be a distinctly Scottish feel to it. Tom English is going to talk to us about the best league in the world, which seems to be the Scottish Premiership at the moment. It has usurped the League of Ireland temporarily as the greatest league in the world. So a three-horse race, a proper three-horse race there for the honours this year. So we'll get Tom English with us to bring us up to speed on what happened over the course of the weekend. Our number is 087 9180 180 if you want to send us a WhatsApp message. Cameron Hill is here wearing his France top. Hello, Cameron.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you want to lose the Grand Slam champions, so I'm on the France bandwagon for the rest of the Six Nations zone.
And it is a beautiful Adidas top as well, which doesn't do it any harm. Michael McCarthy is here as well, wearing his Aston Villa top. How are you, Mick?
Yes, I do, from time to time. How are you?
All good. You're fresh from Belfast last night?
I am, yeah, twice in a week after going up for the roadshow, and just like putting in my proposal there for a new off-the-ball Belfast office.
Yes.
Because I feel like I kind of want to move there at this stage. Beautiful city.
So I
really haven't explored enough over the years.
You were there watching the talents of Andrew Trimble last week, and you were watching the talents of Mike Skinner last night. Who's better? Yeah. Who's better on the mic?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Yeah, Trimble's definitely funnier and more analytical.
Yeah, a little less serious than
Mike Skinner's slightly better at the music, I would say.
Right. The streets were on in Belfast last night?
Streets were on. It was the second night. They played here in the Olympia on Sunday night, which was the first of the brand new tour. Which is the Grand Don't Come For Free performance of the album, and then an encore that's, to be honest, an hour.
All right,
and like the rest of their stuff, brilliant. So we couldn't get tickets for the Olympia, so we said we'll go up to the Telegraph building in Belfast, and it was just class, to be honest. Right. Yeah, so that was where I was last night, Owen, while you were talking about the slightly improved performance of the Irish rugby team, but ultimately still kind of disappointing. And once again, and unsurprisingly, controversial.
Yeah. We'll come to that during the news round. I should say a happy Pancake Tuesday / Shrove Tuesday to all out there. I presume there's plenty of people digging into their pancakes as they listen to us at 7:05 on a
Got a free
Tuesday
pancake
evening.
In Belfast this morning.
Did you really?
As part of my breakfast, yeah. Put it down between us and said, there's a wee pancake for you for Pancake Tuesday. Enjoy. I thought it was one of the loveliest touches I can remember being in a restaurant. Yeah.
And what touch did you apply to the pancake?
To be honest, I kind of had my.
You didn't eat it.
We kind of split it in two, and I had a bit of butter on it. I didn't really. It was
thanks, but no thanks for the pancake.
No, it was.
I like your gesture.
I
but
didn't ask for this. Sends it back.
I thought the gesture was important. the pancake, I wasn't feeling the best this morning, I have to be honest.
Okay. The night is young, still time for
Not
a
the
pancake.
greatest cure in the world, stodgy pancake.
I feel like our job precludes us from properly getting into the Pancake Tuesday rhythm, given that we have to be on the radio between 7 and 10 p.m. I tend to call it not Pancake Tuesday nor Shove Tuesday. I call it Atherstone Ball Game Day. That's what it's in my consciousness. Having attended the Atherstone Ball Game 2 years ago, it's been imprinted in my brain, and I should probably speak to somebody about how I constantly have nightmares about my experience in this little town outside Birmingham those 2 years ago.
I remember you ringing me up the day before that and telling me about this. And saying could we do something on the show? Could we make a slot? And I'm like, yeah, we'll make a few minutes for it. It sounds good. Thinking it was this sort of jovial, I found this kind of cool tradition in the English countryside, and
that is true.
And we're going to bring you this story. And I remember we had Kenny Cunningham in, as we used to get Kenny in regularly on Pancake Tuesday because it was his day, really. I mean, this is when you get Kenny food slot. Just taking that step up a little bit, just turn up the dial a bit on the Kenny food slot. Texas, somebody that year, I think did a text said that they put tuna on their pancakes, which was one of Off the Ball's lowest moments, I would say, in its 20-odd year history, right? But
I don't hate it.
You came on, and I remember we only had like 5 minutes for it or something like that, and Owen spoke for 20 minutes, and it very, very quickly became clear that this wasn't a funny, jovial sort at all. This was a awful, horrendous, violent tradition that has transcended through the generations. And, whether I'm being a little bit judgmental here, I would say, but I remember just thinking, this is a lot more gripping than I was expecting.
It's pretty barbaric. So it's this game that goes back to 1199 when Leicestershire and Warwickshire took each other on in this game. And what it is this big leather ball that gets kicked up and down a street called Long Street in Atherstone. And the sole objective is to be the person in possession of that ball 2 hours later when the hooter goes and the game is over. But the way in which you hold on to the ball, it doesn't really have any parameters. There are no real rules. And like I discovered that there were 2 rules that are implemented. One is that you can't kick the ball off Long Street. That it has to stay on this main promenade. And then the other rule is that you're not allowed to kill anybody. But you can do whatever you want to another human being as long as you don't actually kill them. And
what happens if it later results in death?
I think it's okay, given it doesn't happen in the moment.
The victory isn't voided.
No, it's not willingly.
Like testing positive after an Olympic.
Correct. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So what obviously tends to occur is just all-out brawls in the name of trying to get this big leather ball off one of your fellow village men or a man from a neighbouring pro-Brexit village. And the competitors tend to kind of form teams and try and fend off their opponents by like punching them and kicking them, and it results in a big pile-on, and you just have this situation where there's just like this steam rising like a scrum in Thomond Park in the middle of December off like a few dozen bodies, and at the end the hooter goes and a man comes away from the pile-on with this big leather ball, and he is a hero in the English Midlands for the rest of the year.
What does he win other than that? Just the status?
What else do you need?
Is there a cash prize? I don't think there was a cash prize. Certainly local status is a big thing. It was a bit like, but these are very proud people. They weren't overly happy with me coming along and filming it and asking for interviews after the game had concluded a couple of years ago. One of them, in fact, two of them, one of them called me an Irish "see you next Tuesday," and somebody else also used that same slur, but without the Irishness. But the funny thing about the person who used my Irishness against me, he was actually wearing a British and Irish Lions rugby jersey when he told me to go back to where I came from, which I thought was obviously hilarious.
And he calls it the British and Irish Lions, all right.
So, yeah. But I did take his advice and I got out of there very quickly when the scary man was telling me that I'm not a good person and I need to get out of there.
Yeah, you kind of talk like it sounds like, grown men get involved in the thing. It's all a bit of fun. It's not too bad. Like, I do remember you talking to a man who was describing it and his like little girl was there beside him.
Yeah, that was awful.
And she seemed genuinely
Disturbed,
horrified and kind of traumatized by the entire thing and really uncomfortable with the fact that this was happening. And it's like, you do have to remember that as well. Like, it's a very weird thing, yeah. But we'll stick to pancakes in this part of the world.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and whether you put tuna on them or not, like, I mean, you're equally as culpable as anybody at the Atherstone ball game, but at least you're not killing anybody.
Well, I did see, I think it was, there was some meme page earlier on, or somebody who put up a gallery of memes around pancakes earlier, and the point of one of the images was normalise savoury pancakes.
Yeah.
And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, I would be totally fine with a tuna
and savoury pancakes are great. But you don't want savoury pancakes on Pancake Tuesday.
No.
Can't you have both? Can't you not have like a savoury pancake and then a sweet pancake, like literally any other multi-course meal that you have ever had?
It should be like a breakfast one then with like, you know,
But not
bacon
at
and
7
maple
p.m.
syrup. No, but like, I just don't know. It feels a bit outside of the spirit of Pancake Tuesday to be having like a posh crepe wrap, like, you know, with
the spirit of Pancake Tuesday is to have pancakes. It doesn't matter what you do with it. That's the entire spirit. Unless you're eating, it's not like dessert day. It's not called Dessert Tuesday. It's called Pancake Tuesday. Once the base carb is there, you can do whatever you want with it. I bet the tuna person has stopped listening to Off the Ball years ago. You're welcome back to the fold. I will go to bat for tuna person who was suggesting this.
Is the point of it not like going back to Christian times when Christian times? So now that we're
using up your eggs and flour,
we're in a Nietzsche era now. So, but. Well, yeah, you'd use up all the kind of sweets in the house in order to get rid of them before Lent. That was the whole point of them. So they have to be sweet. That's
okay.
Like, you know.
Well, it was an eggs and flour thing. I don't think people had sweets in the house back in, like, you know, the 1500s.
The 1500s, no.
Okay, so what Mick is saying, it's in the spirit of Pancake Tuesday. Mick obviously sees it as a religious feast as your Lenten journey begins over the next 40 days.
The Feast of Saint Shrove.
I do think there's something kind of a bit kind of bourgeois about the savoury pancake on Pancake Tuesday. Have it, look, I mean, be bourgeois all you like the rest of the year.
I will. I'll do my very best to be as bourgeois as possible. Right, our number is 0879 180 180 if you want to get in touch with any of your pancake opinions. Let's start with the Republic of Ireland women's team, because we had Carla Ward announcing a squad. She was speaking as well today, so give us what you've got there, Cameron.
Well, Carla Ward reveals that FAI Chief Executive David Carrell will address the media soon in relation to the Men's Nations League. She was asked about the contentious games against Israel coming up later this year. The FAI, of course, have not spoken to the media since last week's straw was made in Brussels. Ward insisted that she would offer any support she can to her players on football and non-football issues.
Firstly, it's devastating for all involved, and it's one of those that my political views won't come into this. I think my job is the football side, and similarly to Heimer. And it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it's I believe David, if I'm right in thinking, will be talking to you guys fairly soon. So I think that's for them to answer rather than myself to get caught up in it. I'm big on open door policy. I'm big on an open line of communication with my players. I always have been, no matter what the subject is, and I will continue to do so. And I think that I always try and help the players in a way that if they, to make them feel as comfortable as possible, if they have a view and opinion or they want to have a say, then they can, and I'll support that. But look, it's a very difficult situation for all.
Just on that squad itself, Megan Connolly is back in the 23-player squad for the World Cup qualifiers against France and the Netherlands next month. Lazio centre-back has been listed with the midfielders having been absent through injury at the end of 2025. First-choice goalkeeper Courtney Brosnan also returns after injury.
The Champions League is back.
Yes, and the knockout phase get underway tonight with the first leg in the playoff round down for decision. Right now, it's Juventus 2, Galatasaray 2 in Turkey in the early kick-off tonight. The pick of the ties this evening is the meeting of Real Madrid and Benfica, who are managed by former Real boss Jose Mourinho. The Portuguese club qualified for the playoff round courtesy of a dramatic win over tonight's opponents last month. At the same time, you've Dortmund facing Atalanta and Monaco taking on last year's winners Paris Saint-Germain. All of those kickoffs are at 8 o'clock. All of those games, I should say.
Yeah, so Galatasaray Juventus has got this thing up and running pretty well. 3-2 to Galatasaray after 70 minutes there. This is kind of a strange phase, particularly given all bar one of the English teams have qualified for the next round. It's just Newcastle who are playing this week. Yeah,
it's kind of, it feels almost kind of like preliminary in both our interest and the actual round. I think once we get to the second legs, though, it is true knockout Champions League, and that's when we start to get excited. So from like next week on, but that, in fairness, the Galatasaray Juventus game we had out in the office there has been absolutely brilliant. So we're kind of getting a little taste for it. I think the Benfica Real Madrid match is so funny. Like this is the sort of thing that might happen in the NFL a lot, where you'll play your division rival on like the last day of the regular season to beat them to qualify for the playoffs, and then you have to face the same team again because of the way the seedings work the following weekend. Usually, you don't do it twice in a row. It's kind of hard. It's hard to see Benfica pulling off another miracle.
A very important text in here.
Oh, yes.
Do Findus crispy pancakes count? Johnny Hollywood from Limerick, living the dream here in Nantucket, Massachusetts, USA. My wife will have pancakes with a full Irish fry-up over here, and she's American. Listen, Johnny, your wife is a great person. If she's bringing savoury into the pancake game, she knows what she's doing.
Breakfast pancakes are different, though. If you're talking pancake in all forms, then breakfast pancakes are. Crepes are kind of more Pancake Tuesday, though, aren't they?
A little bit.
And
What are you talking? What do you mean breakfast pancakes?
like an American style pancake,
like the thick ones.
Yeah,
sponge.
But
they're a very different thing. Very different batter.
Will you? Can you actually clarify this, Johnny? To your radio in Nantucket, are you talking about crepes or are you talking about thick American style breakfast pancakes? Because I'd like to be proven correct in this, that you might actually be having them with a crepe style pancake, which I think would finally prove me right. Let's move on to the rugby, because Johnny Sexton has been out speaking today, Cameron.
Yes, and he's stressed the importance of giving all the out-halves in the Irish system plenty of exposure before next year's World Cup. Jack Crowley, Sam Prendergast and Harry Byrne are all in contention to start this weekend's huge Six Nations clash with England in Twickenham. Sexton believes a lack of versatility in selection has been Ireland's undoing in the past.
You know, it's important that not only those two, but Froley and Harry Byrne as well, they keep developing and they get game time. So I suppose there's four guys, and I suppose all the criticism for previous cycles, World Cup cycles, was that we didn't develop guys, you know what I mean? And we didn't, we relied too heavily on one in some positions. So we're doing it a different way now, and whether that's right or wrong, everyone judges it a lot of the time by the outcome. But I know that in games to come, they're going to hit their best form, and they'll be in a good place.
I suppose there's a lot of talk coming into the Six Nations, like you say, that it's not so much a one versus one battle anymore with the 10, that it's a horses for courses. Is that how you see it and you treat it in training and leading up to games?
Well, they're all four of them are very good. They've all got their different strengths, and as coaches, I think we're trying to make sure that we have lots of options going to a World Cup. Trying to learn from previous cycles and make sure that we give them all. We need to get them all a certain number of caps. We need to make sure that we, see their form in different pressurised situations, different venues, different opposition, and I'm sure it'll be like that for the foreseeable. Yeah.
Did you see much of the online discourse after the Italy game, particularly around Sam?
Zero.
We've got loads of options thing. It's obviously what he genuinely believes, and it makes a lot of sense, but it is quite a handy narrative in the aftermath of what happened last weekend, that the coaching ticket can sit back and say, listen, we're giving all these guys loads of goals, we're still kind of figuring it out. I think deep down they would love to have sort of dominant number 10 who is clearly leading the way in that jersey.
I think so, but I also think that they have been trying to establish that, and I think that I think they're being honest in what they're saying, but I think it's also clear to people when you look at it that they have decided, and maybe that's changed now, maybe that changes from next week on, but they decided last year that they wanted it to be Prendergast, because Crowley lost his place really for no reason to a player that has moments and has ups and downs and is a developing rugby player, but is not yet at international standard, it appears, and people can argue that, and that's fine. People know a lot more than me, but it seems as though this is somebody who is getting better or has lots of room to get better, and you would wonder why you can't do that at club level, and isn't that what it's for, rather than anointing him, for want of a better word. And if that hasn't worked out, I think they do have to take some responsibility for that, and I think when you see the vitriol, it's awful. And even the noise in the stadium, it wasn't great. Like on Saturday night, you don't want to see that, and it's not fair on him. But like, what, you know what I mean? Like, at some point they have to say, like, there's been a mistake here. I think, it's not that Sam Prendergast being involved is the problem, or him even playing from time to time. Like, he played well against Australia when he came in, when he played in November. I just think that the idea that he is the de facto starter, and he is. It feels like when they've got a straight choice, they pick him over Crowley most of the time.
Oh yeah, when it's in their hands,
just,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think that I think that's a bad decision. It just feels like it is anyway.
There's more in from...
You seem very distracted.
There's more in from Nantucket Man.
All right, okay.
Which I'll get to in a moment. There's also like a lot of texts coming through on the rugby this weekend. There seems to be a preoccupation with the kickoff time for this weekend. The Ireland versus England rugby match on Saturday is an early kickoff for some reason. Usually it's the 4:45 kickoff, but not this weekend. A few comments coming in about this. Jamie on YouTube as well. Ireland-England game shouldn't be the early kickoff on Saturday. It should be either of the other two slots.
Yeah, it mightn't be a bad idea to just get that game out of the way, to be honest.
Who's on after us?
Wales-Scotland at 4:40. That's the Ireland-England slot. That should be the Ireland-England slot.
Yeah. Wonder why that is.
Very bizarre.
Interesting.
It was played in the later slot 2 years ago at Twickenham, and it was a raucous atmosphere. So I'm not sure, did it get too raucous or something? I don't remember there being any problems.
It's probably an ITV BBC thing, realistically. I'd say that probably has more to do with it, and it's just what slots they have. I think, look, I'm sure Jerry will be upset about it, and he has strong opinions on these things. And at the same time, I think if you can't get an atmosphere for England and Ireland, the Six Nations at Twickenham, there's a problem. You know what I mean? It's fair enough you have to manufacture things elsewhere, but you shouldn't have to manufacture that game.
Can I make an impassioned plea ahead of just the rest of the tournament generally, especially the two home games that we have? And this is no disrespect to Barry Murphy, who's been on the show before, and I'm sure it's an incredible honour to receive this. But can we get rid of anthem singers just once and for all? Like the actual singer of the anthem, soloist for Ireland's calling out Ron.
Why is that? What's
a total atmosphere killer, like straight away. It's so bad.
But you have to play the anthem.
You play the anthem, but you let everyone else, like the other 80,000 people or whatever, sing it and kind of, drive that themselves.
You're not singing together with Barry Murphy, no?
Yeah.
But I just think, like, the singer generally picks a key that suits them, and it doesn't necessarily suit everyone else in the stadium.
It is, like, Ron Levine I don't think is a great anthem objectively compared to, like, almost every... The English one is objectively the worst, right? And then all the other ones in the Six Nations are amazing. And the Irish ones are kind of crap as well, right? But if you're going to do a Ron Levine, if it's going to make the most of it, it's a marching band song. It's a soldier song. It's like it's the Artane band walking around Croke Park. That's what the song is designed to do. So, it is not an operatic, solo singing job. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, like France and Scotland, their band just go, all right, lads, you've got it from here on. We'll just cut out halfway through. You guys can take the lead. Like that's how good they are. Whereas we need a singer.
So Barry Murphy marching out in front of the Artane band with a stick in his hand doing the twirls.
Yeah, and then he can sing Ireland's Call if he wants. Just a bat on for Ron Levine.
I think Barry Murphy is the perfect solution to this. I think Ireland have actually stuck with Barry Murphy because they've struck something that actually works. They've got somebody who just does a really good job of singing the anthems. No frills about it, no change of pace. It's the perfect pacing. And if the atmosphere is dead because the singer's the problem, then God, I don't know. I disagree. Can I do the pancake text before we go to the ads? Sorry if I'm getting in the way of other important sports news, but
we're out with the cricket, basically. That's all we have left, isn't it?
Rain. Yeah. We've got information from Nantucket and we've got information from other areas of the globe as well. So we'll start with Owen, who's not from Nantucket. He says, Lyle's golden syrup from the metal tin is the best filling for a pancake or crepe.
Incorrect.
Having that golden goodness wrapped in crispy cakes is as good as it gets. Life will never be better. And from
his name Owen Lyle, by any chance?
From our friend in Nantucket. I've actually been vindicated by Nantucket Man. Regular pancakes with maple syrup, he says. Sweet. I can't understand how you can have a sweet pancake on a plate with a full-on fry-up.
No, absolutely. Who's saying a sweet pancake with a fry-up? I think he's misunderstood there.
Well, I back you. I like the pancake game in Nantucket. All in the game as well has been in touch on YouTube to say, why did England name their team so early? It's a very good question. Maybe they just don't respect Ireland. Maybe Henry Pollock's being thrown out for his first test start because they think it's an easy way to wait into test life.
You name your team first, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're out there, Ireland are immediately, instead of being proactive, they're being reactive.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have more on this with Brian O'Driscoll after the break. We've got all that England team news to get into with him as the show develops. Cameron Hill, thank you very much for popping in tonight. Mick McCarthy will chat to you a little later on. Before the break, let's go to the cash machine.
News Talk's cash machine.
Now, there's another huge amount to be won on the cash machine this Friday, and this one might be familiar. The number you need to know is €250,000. And there are two ways you can enter. You can visit newstalk.com/cash machine, where you can enter online, or you can text play to 57557. That's 57557. You have to get your entry in by 3 p.m. on Friday, and then across the Go Loud network of stations, someone will get that call. If your phone rings, you have to answer it within 5 rings. Give us the exact amount in euro and cent, and you'll win the cash. So remember that amount one more time, €250,000. It's for over 18s only. Text costs €2.50 plus your standard message rate to play. You're playing across the Go Loud network of stations, and terms and conditions are on newstalk.com.
The Newsround on Off the Ball.
It's blue, rich with vitamin D for immunity, has less sugar